Hey everybody, it's Rycard here again, back with another black and white Pokemon analysis. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the courting Pokemon known as Kokoromori. So let's get started by looking at its abilities and its stats. So first off, you'll notice that this Pokemon bears the Psychic Flying dual typing. And unfortunately, this dual typing is really not one of the best in the world because you are weak to a lot of different things. And you only really resist Psychic and Fighting, and then you're immune to Ground because of your Flying type. So it has its advantages, but it's really kind of one of the worst dual typings, I think, when it comes to what attacks are super effective against you. As for the abilities, the first one is Unaware, which is a neat ability that allows you to ignore your opponent's stat boosts when you switch this Pokemon in. So for example, you're up against a Salamence or something that just Dragon Danced twice and took out your opponent, or took out your previous Pokemon. You switch this Pokemon in, and since it has Unaware, it ignores the speed and attack boost that it got from Dragon Dance and treats it as if it didn't have any boosts at all, so you can do whatever you want, essentially. As for Klutz, that is a cool ability as well, and what it does is it makes it so that you don't actually use the item you're holding, meaning that if you're holding a Choice Scarf or something, you won't get the speed boost from the Choice Scarf, nor will you be locked into one move because Klutz ignores those things. Unfortunately, though, this guy does not get Switcheroo or Trick, which is kind of weird because it gets Klutz, and you would think that would be the reason why it would get it, so it can trick something to your opponent, but it doesn't, so it's kind of an unfortunate second ability that this Pokemon gets. As for its Dreamworld ability, though, it is one that is known as Simple, and if you don't know what that is, just look up any Barrel set and you'll see why this ability is so awesome. Basically, what it does is it allows your stat increases to be, or stat drops as well, to work twice as effectively. And what I mean by that is if you use a move like Calm Mind, say, that's a move that increases your special attack and your special defense by one stage. But if you have the Simple ability, it'll actually increase those two stats by 2 stages with just one Calm Mind. So it's a really awesome ability to have, and you will see in the second set of this video how it can be made use of effectively. As for its stats, its HP and its defenses, which is 67 HP, 55 defense, and 55 special defense, really doesn't give you a lot of options when it comes to being able to take hits from your opponent. So it's kind of unfortunate that it doesn't learn more, or it doesn't have like higher in either of those stats. So just don't expect this Pokemon to be able to take a lot of attacks from your opponent. As for its physical attack, it's not that great either, at only being 57, but its special attack is very usable because you get Calm Mind and things like that to help it increase even further. So even though 77 is not the highest number in the world, it can be made use of. As for its speed, though, this is probably the catch with this Pokemon just because of how incredibly high it is at 114, meaning you will probably be faster than the majority of things you come across if you max that out with a Jolly Nature or Timid Nature. So having really high speed can make this Pokemon really effective if you want to make it some kind of revenge killer, which you will see in the first set, and I will get to that right now. So for this first set, we're going to be using a Timid Nature to increase Kokoromori's speed but decrease its physical attack. As for the ability, we're going to be running Unaware so that you can switch this Pokemon in safely against potential opponents that have already boosted their stats and thus ignore them completely because of Unaware. As for the EVs, we're going to put 4 EVs into HP to give you an odd-numbered hit points, meaning that you will be able to switch in at least 4 times against a team that is running Stealth Rocks. As for the other EVs, 252 EVs are going into special attack so that you can obviously do a lot of special attacking damage, and this will max it out, or at least give it the highest number it can have with the Timid Nature. As for its next EVs, we're going to put 252 into speed to give you your max speed possible with a timid nature. The item could be either two things, but choice specs, in my opinion, is the preferred one, so that you can do as much damage as possible, and obviously, hopefully, revenge kill, which is why I made this set the way it is. Another item could be choice scarf, so that you can outspeed things that you also think are scarfed, such as like Shandera, that I know I've seen scarfed sets for that Pokemon. But if you are going to use a choice scarf set, I would recommend switching the nature from timid to modest to give you that extra attack or special attack power. As for the moves, the first one is Psychic, because it's a nice stab psychic type move, obviously, because its name is Psychic, and it will be doing plenty of damage to whatever you switch in. As for the next move, we can use Shadow Ball to give you more type coverage and allow you to hurt Psychic and Ghost types. And then also Hidden Power Fighting to pretty much give you good type coverages for almost any Pokemon. I'm pretty sure with this combination of Psychic, Ghost, and Fighting, there isn't a Pokemon that you cannot hit for neutral damage, which is pretty cool. As for the last move, though, we can choose between two. The first is Psycho Shock, and I abbreviated it there because of the fact that it wasn't going to fit on the line, and I'm weird like that. But Psycho Shock is great because it allows you to revenge kill Pokemon that are specially defensive, because Psycho Shock is a special attacking move that hits physically. So if you're up against like a Blissey or something that is at low HP, you can switch this Pokemon in and Psycho Shock and take it out because of Blissey's inherently low physical defense. As for the other move, though, you can use U-Turn because it will allow you to scout effectively, so to speak, but I wouldn't recommend it personally because of the fact that you are a flying type, so you're taking a lot of damage when you switch in anyways, so why would you switch out immediately to just scout something, because then the next time you come in, you're at half of your health, which is really unfortunate. But that's pretty much it for this set. Another option that you could use for a stab move would be Air Slash, so maybe someone could think of a way to implement that effectively with a set like this. As for this last set, it is going to be using the Dreamworld ability Simple. So we're going to give it essentially the same EVs and nature as the previous set. The only difference is that we're changing the item to leftovers from obviously the choice specs and choice scarf. As for the moves, the first one is Calm Mind, which is an obvious move to use the ability Simple because it'll give you a +2 boost in special attack and special defense every time you use it. As for the next move, it is a new move known as Assist Power, and it can potentially be an incredibly power psychic type move. The reason for that is because it has only 20 base power, but for every stat boost you have, it adds 20 more power to it. So after one Calm Mind, since you're getting +4, 4 times 20 is 80, and 80 plus 20 is 100. So now you have a 100 power Assist Power, which is stronger than its main stab move, which would be Psychic. And then with Assist Power, obviously we're going to use Shadow Ball again, so that we can have more type coverage and be able to hit things for either neutral or special or super effective damage. As for the last move, it's really a toss-up between Roost and Hidden Power Fighting. Roost will obviously allow you to keep your HP up and last longer in battle, whereas Hidden Power Fighting will give you a lot more types to cover and pretty much give you unresisted attacking moves because of Assist Power and Shadow Ball backing up the Hidden Power Fighting. So it's really up to you which one you want to use. Personally, I think I would go with Hidden Power Fighting again, just because after one Calm Mind, you have over 500 special attack, plus your really high speed as well, making this Pokemon incredibly fast and powerful with the Simple ability. So it is probably the best Pokemon that gets Simple, even though there really are only two. And I hope you guys like this new thing. It's a new cool bat, and I'm sure it will have its own little niche in the quote-unquote metagame. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. So take care and goodbye.